Hi, this is Professor Luchin. Every week, what I'd like to do is give a review of the previous week, sort of the performance, some other notes I made, and then give you some insight into the coming week and make any announcements or changes to the course. And that's what I just basically said. So I track everything you touch, the amount of time you spend, and also how much you contribute. As you can see on the screen, the average amount of time spent on the course was a little over 4 hours. The mean is about actually, that's supposed to be the median, is about 3.25 hours. The max was almost 9.5 hours, and the minimum was under a half hour. That's not enough, whoever that is. You probably know who you are based on how often you went to the site and how much time you had it opened while you were viewing things. The view average was about 221. The median was just under 200. A low was 27. Again, you know who you are. If you only looked at 27 things last week, that's not enough. That's a low number. I did not factor in this performance into last week's grading. From now on, I am. It's going to contribute to your reflection as far as, are you spending enough time? Are you looking at everything adequately? And are you participating? We had one person who didn't submit anything, but the average was 2. So that's good. That's what you're supposed to do. There's 2 assignments. So we did a pre-course survey that can help me understand how I should set things up, or at least initially. Only one person didn't participate in that. Again, this last week, if you completed everything, you got 10 out of 10. That's going to change as we go through. But again, we do drop the lowest week's work. So you always have that. Based on your reflective assignments that were submitted by Sunday night, I reviewed those. And here are some things I found, and then I'm going to talk about things I've changed. Is that a great majority of you would rather have pre-recorded lectures that are posted through my YouTube, because then you can, it's easier to control. The problem is I can't tell if you've watched it or not. So therefore, I'm going to be, in all my videos now, I'm going to indicate a keyword. You don't know when it's going to happen. It's just, if you listen to the entire lecture, at some point I'm going to say, the keyword for this is blank. And every week you're going to have to submit that. That's about the only way I'm going to know if you are watching it or not. I don't have any other means. Whereas when I did the live webinar and the recording, I could track that. I may use some Webinar Jam for pre-recording, but we'll see how it goes. A lot of you did like the WebEx discussion, though your schedules were a little bit fluid, so you weren't sure when you'd be able to make it. And a lot of you did want to try out the mentoring. And so that's things that I've changed. Just really quickly review, and you're going to see a lot of these come up in the questions I'm giving you to ask the mentors, and then you're going to share it on the discussion board. So basically in safety, professional ethics is self-imposed. There is no requirement to have an accredited degree, a particular license to practice. Only if you achieve those things are you held to an ethical code. Otherwise, you're not. Preventing injuries is not on the list of duties for the safety professional. It's our goal or our overarching objective, but our task is to try and prevent injuries through accident investigations, but through auditing and things like that. And we're going to get into that this week. Causes of death and injuries, we covered that. Want to make note that they weren't aligned really with the most frequently cited OSHA standards. I think that's interesting. OSHA inspections, although they're very unlikely, you still should prepare for them. That's important. The effort of going through and preparing and realizing what a compliance officer is held to, these are all really good things. Not only for, if OSHA does show up, but just overall awareness of what needs to be in the safety program and what someone might look for. The importance of an analytical approach versus just blaming the worker for getting hurt, which is a natural tendency we have as humans. It's called attribution error. It was covered. But safety programs are built over time, and that's going to come out in this week's lectures, that you try something, you evaluate it, and then you maybe assess it differently or look at something else, and then it just keeps iteratively improving over time, and that's how you get a successful safety program. You don't buy it. You can't buy one. You can't just, create it on your first try. It takes time, and the effort that goes into better understanding what it takes to keep workers safe or to discover why people got hurt It all just makes things better. That's how you build a customized safety program that's effective. So this week we've got 5 lectures, 6 through 10. The first is pre-accident stuff. The next is post-accident stuff. Then dealing with OSHA citations, kind of building on what we had talked about last week. Then how to build a written safety program, and finally getting into personal protective equipment assessments and training requirements. So interesting week. So here are the changes based on what I received from you and combining with what I want to accomplish this semester or over this course. Sorry. And that is, I'm not going to be doing live recordings as much, if at all. This week they're all pre-recorded, like this one. The WebEx discussions will be typically from now on Wednesday at noon and Sunday at 8 p.m. I will be sending out an invite for those, a repeat invite. I'd ask you to save them. Doesn't mean you have to show up, but just save them so they're at least on your calendar. But I'm not doing any this week because I want you to use that time to try and coordinate and speak with your mentors. If you would like to meet with me, though, by all means, email me, and we can set up a time that works for both of us. In many ways, I'd rather do it that way because then I know you really want to be there, and we can really focus on what you're interested in, and then I can answer questions. So it'll be kind of like a one-on-one office hour then. Okay, I had indicated before that all the lectures are going to have a keyword that you're going to have to put into the weekly assignment each week. That's how I know. I'm also not asking specific questions anymore. I want to know what you're taking away from the lectures, which will actually help me in better preparing my lectures themselves. So you do need to watch them and look at the materials. Each week I'm going to try to assign new mentors, though if any of you get along with one of your mentors, maybe we could find a way to keep you in contact with them and they can carry you through the rest of the course. We'll see. Again, this week is another experiment. We'll see how it goes. If at all possible, maybe we will try to host something Sunday night just because I need to hear from you in order to make the changes. And I hope to get ahead now. Again, I apologize that things weren't ready for this week. I was trying to learn from last week. My internet was bad. But we should be able to do that from here on out. And that's it. So I look forward to hearing from you later this week. Please reach out to me if you have any questions.